All right, guys. So 21st of September, um, the fourth week of September. This is just the weekly review. Um, just a reminder that anything that I'm talking about is not a financial advice. This is just the way of how exactly I'm reviewing the price and I'm normally trading the market. So I'm gonna start just quickly by reviewing what exactly we had by last week. Speaking of what exactly we prefer to see uh, by last week, because we were expecting to see Nasdaq and the S&P to rally to the upper side, and this is what exactly happened. We were, pretty much looking at a move to come to around these levels. Same thing that it happened on the S&P. Still, I do think we still have a little bit of a room to go a little bit higher in regards to GBP, USD also. We are projecting the price to come and, to run some of these highs. So that's literally what happened. I'll be talking a little bit about forex also within this weekly review, but pretty much the weekly move that we projected that it played really well. The only thing definitely that it didn't play well, it was gold, but I think we will be getting some nice moves, like let's say to happen on gold between up and down. We will see how exactly things it's gonna play out. But this coming week, I don't think that gold it's gonna be like let's say too active, but we will be doing like a full review by tomorrow, specifically on gold, on what kind of trades that we will be looking at it. So getting back to Bitcoin, just to review a few things, like let's say that I put it for you and I cleared it for you on Twitter because the week we got like let's say an FOMC last week, and the play was to chill literally on Monday, wait for the ranges, like let's say just to get formed and literally follow what exactly you get on Tuesday. And pretty much that was the whole area that I wanted really to see the price coming to it. So preferably like let's say or early into September, we wanted to see the price coming to this area and coming to take these highs. So in regards to where exactly BTC is for now, we're literally still in the mid of the range. Like these are the lows, these are the highs, and we are literally at the mid of the range. So look, it depends on how exactly the week is gonna start and Asia it's gonna start. My expectations, it's gonna be, it depends on the move that we're gonna get it early into Asia. So I'll be covering for you just like let's say a few scenarios on what exactly to expect and what exactly to be extremely cautious and extremely careful. Now, in regards to the range that we have it here, still we don't have really any kind of visibility on how exactly the week it's going to start. I was expecting a little bit of a move to go to higher levels. Maybe you're going to see it also in the coming, like let's say 4 to 5 hours, toward the closing, or maybe just they're going to keep it at around these levels. But in fact, you don't have really anything like let's say at around these levels, just a small move, which is it's the normal thing to happen over the weekend, unless definitely they aim to do something. Now, my expectations, it's gonna go again on clearing few scenarios for you, just to be fully aware of it. I do think that within September, we're gonna be pretty much playing within this region and this area. So maybe the 112, 118. I don't think, honestly, that we're going to be coming to the 112, toward September, but it's very possible, that you're going to start moving to the upper side and then, just like something like this. But I need just to cover for you a few scenarios here on a low time frame so you will be fully aware of it. One scenario would be that we might see a move early into the week to come, like let's say toward these highs, and then from here just to get some kind of a rejection to come and to sweep these lows. And from here, if you will be getting a reclaim, then you will be looking for longs to take these highs. From here also, there is a very big possibility that you're going to be looking at a move to come and to take maybe the 118,500, but not to progress higher. If you see any kind of a rejection from here, then you will be looking for some kind of shorts to come and to take, like, let's say, a direction to the downside. Now, my expectations, it's in the coming, I would say, few days and weeks, um, few levels that I do have a little bit of a concern about it, which is it's exactly these levels and also these levels. So as long as the price is really trading above the 100,012, then it wouldn't be an issue, like let's say for BTC to come and to take the highs. But as I said, it all depends on what exactly really we're gonna have here. Because if by any chance with the weekly open, you're gonna be getting like let's say an aggressive move to the downside, like literally an aggressive move to the downside, you might even keep an eye on the volume. You might get some kind of a move and the recovery to the upper side, something like this, and then after that to start taking, like let's say, just like a move to the downside and just to continue lower. I'm not really putting a lot of probabilities into this one. The biggest probability or the highest probability that I do see it, that we might see some kind of a moves on BTC with something like this, I would say, in the coming few days, in the coming few weeks. That's, I would say, the best scenario that I would put it on BTC between September and October. Something like this, if it's going to play out, they might also, by the way, come like a little bit lower from here, but without taking these lows. So I would say if we're gonna just like start moving and we're gonna just get, I would say on this one still, we would be factoring taking these lows. But I would say still we're gonna have like some kind of a range that we might just like play it between up and down in the coming few days and few weeks. Still, they're really gonna resolve like let's say the whole range. I would say if BTC by any chance started trading above the 118,500 and started just reaching the 119,300, I would say then pretty much the low that we have it here, that we printed it here, that the low is in, and then you will be looking for some kind of maybe just like pullbacks to somewhere at around these levels to come and to take the highs. And still, I do believe that we're going to get this pullback. Now, from here, that's really what I care about, because the place that I would look at it within this week, it's the following. One of them is to see the price moving. We do have a few probabilities here. One of them that you might just come into Asia, sweep these lows, and then come to take these highs, then get some kind of a rejection from here, come take these lows that you do have them at around these levels, reclaim this area, and you will be looking pretty much for a move to come to take these highs. From here, the same thing, move and progress to the upper side, get some kind of a rejection from here. And if you will see, like, let's say that it's rejecting, you will be looking for the price to come and to move to the downside. I'm not sure, like, let's say if we're going to come all the way to the downside, or it will be just like some kind of a rejection and some kind of a move to here. That will be some kind of, that's the most favorite scenario. I would say that I'm gonna prefer to see it like within this week. As I said, it depends on this move, like what's exactly the strength of this move that we might get it at around these levels, then we can decide what could be the play from here. As I said, if this move that you get it once you sweep these levels, if it's gonna be just like a small move to the upper side and you start just losing momentum and you are not progressing, then you will be looking for the price still to continue and to roll to the downside. And we will see from here what exactly could be the scenario and the probability. But again, it's the same exact play and the same exact setup that usually I do discuss it with you guys. Once we do form Asia into next week, then things it's gonna start looking absolutely easier. Why? Because last week the move that you got it, you can see what exactly happened at around these levels. So this is what you formed on Monday. And then after that, that's pretty much every single play that we were looking at it all the time to play it till we came, like, let's say, to take these highs. So for now, I do prefer that you're going to be chilling and you're going to be just sticking and just like looking at what exactly Asia it's going to do, because it's extremely important really to keep an eye into this. And I'm going to be also keeping an eye on how exactly we are closing um, the weekly candle. Because if we will close this weekly candle under this level, then we can see that we do have, like, let's say, sellers that they are trying to push the price here. Second time sellers, they are trying to push the price here. So when you see this kind of moves, like, let's say, and the weekly closing, it's going to close under the 115 600, then you will be expecting the price to come and maybe to run the 1114 or the 1113 500 before, to start moving to the upper side. They could come even a little bit lower to the 113, sorry, 113,000. So it's very possible to see something like this before, some kind of a move to the upper side. But the most important thing for you to keep an eye on it, it's really to keep an eye on Asia, on how exactly they are performing the Monday range, and then from there we can decide really what could be the play. I don't advise you really to play this kind of a move. As I said, there is still a possibility that BTC might give you such a move, but I don't advise you really, like, let's say, to try to look for scalp longs from here, because we don't have enough information on what exactly we formed over the weekend. Still, both players, longs and shorts, they are still into the play. As you can see, anyone that he longed here, they're going to be putting their stop losses under this level. Anyone that he shorted here, they're going to be putting their stop losses here. So we don't have really enough information on this one. So you're going to be just chilling and to see how exactly things um, how things it's gonna form in the coming few hours. Now, it's not really required, like, let's say, to see Asia selling aggressively. I wouldn't like to see that. It depends on how big is the range that we are forming it into Asia on Monday. We can decide what could be the next play, and we can also set some kind of realistic targets on what exactly to expect, where I will be updating it just in a post in Discord once we're going to form the range by tomorrow. So you can keep an eye on this. But I wanted just to cover for you, like, let's say, these few possibilities, because really at this stage, there are, I would say, like, let's say, three scenarios. I would say two of them, they are looking fine and they are looking good in regards, like, let's say, to come and to take the highs and to come and to start, progressing all the way to 119, 120. But there is also a very big possibility that you might come and to take the loss. This is as per the price that we do have it as per today. So there is really nothing, like, let's say, to rush it at around these levels. You need just to stay chilled. Don't do anything, don't rush anything, because it's not really clear. Usually, you know me very well, if there is really any kind of probability to play the weekend and to trade the weekend, because I do consider if the market is open, then you can trade it. But if the weekend it's not something that you can trade or it's not active, then that's how exactly you're going to be just looking at this and up on that. We just chill and wait for Monday, and we can take things forward. Now, in regards to ETH, it's a little bit tricky, but there are a few things that I wanted to highlight it for you. So first of all, I think ETH dominance, like, which is, it's going to affect normal altcoins with this. I think ETH dominance, in a way or another, that it's coming into an area again that it might give you some kind of a bounce. If it's going to start rolling to the downside, then fine, this will be fine for altcoins. But if ETH is going to push to the upper side, it has nothing to do with ETH BTC. Okay. So, but if ETH dominance, it's going to go to the upper side, and ETH, as an example, BTC going lower, then this is going to affect altcoins by, giving you a pullback to the downside. If BTC, it's going to break to the downside. So you need to factor this. And I don't really see any reason for you why you're going to rush playing altcoins at this stage. First of all, this is the last week of the month. So, if there is something that it moved already, then fine, just, it moved. But if you will align things with BTC, you're going to be doing okay till you're going to start the new quarter, because you do have a new quarter that it's going to come. And the best thing to do is just to wait for the new quarter. There is really not much for you to look at alts in the last week of the month. That's my advice to you. So you're going to wait for the new quarter, and things, I think it's going to be looking absolutely good when it's coming, like, let's say, to trading altcoins into the next quarter. Now, in regards to ETH, as just like ranges and levels, I don't really see anything that it's looking more appealing than these levels on ETH. I think in a way or another, if you started both, by the way, are on the table, coming to take the lows or coming to take the highs. So it depends really on BTC what exactly it's gonna do next. But if there is something that I do prefer, like let's say to see ETH is doing it, is to see it trading these lows before moving to the upper side, or I'm gonna welcome definitely like a major pullback to come on ETH, but I'm not saying that this would happen. If I started seeing like let's say this level is holding, and you might just like do something like this, maybe come take the lows, reclaim this, then aligned with BTC on just like sweeping the lows or moving like a little bit to the upper side, then I think we might come and run these highs and see from here what exactly we're going to be, what we're going to be doing at around these levels. So it's not really something major, to play like this. Um, um, it's very possible to break to the downside and just to come like let's say to take lower levels. What is it? Sorry, it's BTC dominance, not ETH. I reviewed two things. I'm not sure if you are really focusing on this. I reviewed this first of all as the first one. Uh, I'm telling you that there is a possibility that this it's gonna start holding here and bouncing to the upper side where it's gonna affect altcoins. If ETH BTC, as an example, go into the downside and still continue to the downside, like let's say to lower levels from here, while ETH dominance is just going to the upper side, then it's going to affect altcoins. That's the whole thing. So that's what we will be looking at. It. BTC dominance, it's not really giving any kind of direction from here. It's still holding sideways. So it depends on how exactly the week is gonna start. But with this weekly candle and with this, like let's say structure, I think more or less that any kind of a bounce to around these levels, it might bring BTC dominance to one more leg to the downside before it's gonna start reversing to the upper side. I think, by the way, with this kind of structure that you are putting it on BTC dominance, you need to factor that you might see some major moves to the upper side. If BTC dominance is going to start giving you some kind of price action from here. So you need to be extremely careful. If in case BTC, sorry, breaking to the downside, then that definitely it's going to affect altcoins. I'm not really a fan of trading or just like charting total three, total two, and to talk to you about them, because for me they are irrelevant. They don't really give you any kind of measurement on, like, you cannot just like judge total three and apply it on altcoins that all altcoins they are looking strong. I don't think that you know, it is what it is, what exactly people they are talking about. But meanwhile, all I can tell you that this is, some kind of a range and the consolidation into all-time high. And there is still a possibility that you might see some kind of a price action, a consolidation sideways, maybe come take the lows in the coming few days and then move to the upper side. It's still very possible, In regards to total two, which is again just like I'm giving you some kind of a review, but for me they are not really important, just to talk about these kind of things. It's still looking fine. It's more of a consolidation sideways that you do have it here. There is still a possibility, like let's say that you might just again take these lows, then move to the upper side. And I don't think it's gonna, you can't just like talk about this to consider it just a deviation and coming back to the downside. I don't think so. It's just like more of a consolidation sideways. So it's fine for the time being. The only thing that you don't want really to see is to see total two and total three breaking aggressively to the downside, failing to come back here, because in that time you're gonna factor them coming lower before moving to the upper side. And this will be the kind of structure that you will be looking at it. And this will be some kind of a nice pullback, on all across the board. I think this would be fully aligned with BTC going, like, let's say, to lower levels. I don't think that this would happen without BTC going to lower levels. So that's a kind of a place that I do have it, like, let's say, on the crypto market. Um, I think this week might not be, like, let's say, too active in regards, like, let's say, to major moves that it's happening. Um, it could be really that you might just like move from 114 to 118,500, something like this, I would say. some kind of a move like into a 4% range. It's very possible. We don't have like, let's say, anything major to be worried about it, like, let's say, in regards to news, like the same way of how exactly it was last week and FOMC and all these kind of things. And just for you to know, news are just like part of the chart, and you still can project what exactly could happen here really into the news. The only thing, you don't want to trade the news itself. The only thing, you need to wait for it, let the news get out, then jump into your trade, and you will be doing absolutely fine. So that's the kind of plays that I do have them. Also, I will be updating you in Discord in regards to Nasdaq and the S&P. Because for Nasdaq, it depends on how exactly we're gonna open. I would prefer to see some kind of pullbacks on Nasdaq reaching these levels and reaching these areas. I would like really to see some kind of a pullback. What kind of a pullback that it might play from here? Well, you might just, because they came, like, you can see that they filled, like, let's say, the gap. I don't really trade the gaps. I don't really care that much about them. But I would say, if we will come, like, let's say, at around these highs, come take these lows or come to this range before moving to the upper side, that would be something nice. Some kind of a range to play on Nasdaq between, like, let's say, to or to 24,440 and 24,000 or 25,000. It's going to be a nice range, just to see, like, let's say, Nasdaq just, ranging here before just like making a leg to the upper side, or maybe before it's going to start putting some kind of structure for a major pullback to the downside, maybe to come again to take the 23,850 level. What you don't want really to see on Nasdaq, just, was it on Wednesday? Yeah, I think it's fine. I think for now it's looking fine. I think it's looking fine. The only concern that you are trading on low volume on Nasdaq, but again, you are trading all-time high. So as long as it's holding momentum, as long as it's just like giving you some kind of a structure for a continuation to the upper side, then it's fine. The play that you get it on Monday, it's literally this kind of a play, and just, you got extremely lucky if you catch this kind of a move to the upper side, which is, it's from the moment that, again, you formed, like, let's say, Monday, and you started moving to the upper side, break above the range, and then a continuation. At least you could trade it just literally to this move. Then you got retrace, then you got the FOMC, and you started seeing some kind of a chop with the FOMC. But it was a clean play with the direction that we prefer to see it playing out. As I said, it's not really too clear, like, let's say, for the play, that what exactly would happen. But if I would prefer to see something, I would say 118 500 region into 113 800. We need definitely more information to come, which we're gonna rely on it once we're gonna fully unfold Monday range from Asia, and upon that we can decide really what could be the place from here. But as I said, just be extremely careful with such a move to come at somewhere at around these levels, then to fail to the downside. You will be expecting the price to come and to take the lows from here, and we will see at this stage if they will hold this area or they're not gonna hold this area. I have also to be extremely clear into this. If things is gonna go, like, let's say, really bearish from here, and we're gonna start like breaking into the open to the downside, let's assume, just, assumption that the price really started to break under this area and under this level. In that time, I think you will be looking for some kind of a complementary bounce before coming and continuing lower. So this will be the kind of short that you will be looking at it, if in case, the open, it was aggressively to the downside, and the move from here, it was just like, some kind of just like a small bounce and choppy, and it's just like it doesn't have strength at all. So you will be looking for it to continue to the downside. So that's literally what you will be looking at it. As I said, I'll be updating you in Discord with 2 or 3 posts at least, once we're gonna form, like, let's say, Monday range, and upon that I can just like set for you maybe a one or two setups that you can trade it within the week. So yeah, that's all from my side for ETH. As I said, it's looking fine for now as long as it's holding these levels with ETH dominance just like holding up and started giving you some kind of a bounces. But you need to factor it with what exactly BTC it's happening. I think more or less this level and this level, this level, and this level also, they will be operating like a magnet. So maybe a move to the upper side, it's going to take you to the downside. A move to the downside, it's going to take you to the upper side. But one thing to keep an eye on it, if in case there will be a sweep of this area, then a reclaim, you will be expecting literally a nice move to the upper side to take at least like let's say 4,670 and 4,800. That's a kind of structure and the play that you will be looking at it on ETH. For now, it's looking fine. Momentum, it's looking fine, but the whole crypto market, it's not really putting too much moves. So that's a play. I'll be also covering for you. Uh, I'll be also covering for you US oil. Uh, this week. We got this move last week on US oil, but I still think that we might see some kind of moves still next week. It's very possible to come to take the lows before seeing some kind of a bounces again and some kind of maybe major moves like let's say to take us up to the 70s again. So yeah, I would prefer definitely to take these lows before getting into major swings. Other than this, it's just going to be weekly trades that I'll be looking at it and just like the same thing of how exactly it happened here. You got this move to the upper side. We will see how exactly the week it's going to start. But this is what literally I'm looking at it on oil in regards like let's say to a swing trade. I think it's some kind of a nice move that we might get it, like let's say by taking these lows, moving and just like reclaiming this range and reclaiming this area. You will be looking at it just to play, taking these highs, maybe a little bit higher, trading up to the 70s one more time. I'm not a fan of Cooper for a trade, so I can't really put it for you and project it for you on weekly basis. So reclaim a level in what time frame? 1 hour, 4 hours for BTC and ETH. Uh, Now I would say, like, let's say you need 1 hour and 4 hours, but again, it depends on how exactly Asia is gonna play. For Asia, you will be looking mainly for this, like, let's say to be 2 1 hours, 2 1 hour candles. You know, you need just like to see some kind of a hold and the strength once you're gonna get a reclaim. Usually, by the way, when there will be some kind of a reclaim, always keep an eye on something, guys. It's easier for you to play these kind of things. Once you get the drop, you get the reclaim, and you get the strength. You get this pullback no matter what before a continuation. This is what you want to play, not this. This is what you want to play, not this. You need to see the price doing something and showing you something, and you look for some kind of a pullbacks here before playing to the upper side. That's a kind of price action that you will be looking at it, and that's a kind of play. So in order to show you something, let's assume that as an example, you played this sweep. You see this move to the upper side. It wasn't really like, let's say, a major move or a reaction. Let's talk about this much better. You see this move to the upper side, you let it give you the move to the upper side, then you get this pull back so you can play this. You need to see the price moving up and then giving you the pullback. You don't want really just to play this. There is no point to play this because this you can just get it trapped with this on this move. So I will go on a low time frame so you can see it clearly on what exactly I'm talking about. You need to see nice reaction. If, as an example, you traded this and you long this, no point. I don't see a point because literally you might fail from here and just get stopped out. No, let it move, let it show you something, let it progress, then it's going to give you the pullback. Once it's going to give you the pullback, fine, stop losses under these laws, and that's what you'll be aiming for. So you don't want really to rush in like 1 2 hours candle. No, let it give you the move, then you get this pullback, and then you'll be getting, like, let's say, the continuation. And usually, if you get this kind of moves, like, let's say, it's not an aggressive move, but it's just like a nice move to the upper side before giving you the pullback, and then before playing, like, let's say, the continuation. But yeah, you want to see definitely some kind of a reaction from here before getting involved into into the trade. I don't see a point from here unless you do have like some other levels that it's major, maybe the monthly open, the quarterly open, whatever it is. That's a total different story. That other levels that you are defending it. But if, as an example, I'm playing this and I'm favoring to see this to be a deviation, then in that time you will be looking on this. Oh, this is a reclaim. Let me long. You will get stopped out. This is a reclaim. You will get stopped out. No, you need to see the reaction before getting some kind of a pullback, before playing the continuation. That's the kind of things that it's extremely important to pay attention to it and to be fully aware of it. So yeah, that's all honestly from my side. I really don't have, like, let's say, anything more to update you with it. As I said, it's gonna be a little bit of a tricky week, but the only thing you really want to do is just be patient, wait for Monday uh, to show you something and to give you something before putting, like, let's say, some kind of major trades for the week, or putting some kind of size on BTC. Because you need just to make sure that we are just like putting some kind of a structure. As I said, it depends on how exactly we are closing the week and how exactly we are closing today. By all means, if you will be closing above this level as a weekly candle, you still gonna be, seeing more and more probabilities for the price to rally to the upper side. So you wouldn't mind a pullback before a move to the upper side. So that's a kind of just like, the result of just some kind of just extra confluence that you will be seeing higher levels. So yeah, that's all from my side, guys. Wish you all the best. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and keep an eye on Discord, on the free Discord section, because I'm gonna be updating you by tomorrow on it. Wish you all the best, guys. Cheers. Bye bye.